Hello, future scientists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the world of chemistry. Today, we are diving into chapter exploring mixtures and their separation, focusing specifically on a fascinating topic, heterogeneous mixtures and their non-uniform composition. We'll start with the basics, then move to medium, hard, and even a super challenging hardest level. Get ready to uncover the secrets of everyday substances around you. Let's begin. Ready to explore the world of mixtures that aren't quite perfectly blended? Let's start with the easy stuff and understand what makes them unique. Imagine mixing sand and water. Can you still see the sand? Absolutely. That's the essence of a heterogeneous mixture. Its components aren't uniformly spread out. This means if you look closely, you can often spot the different parts. There are distinct boundaries between these different components, and each part keeps its original properties. For instance, in our sand and water example, the sand remains sand and the water remains water. Simple, right? So, what are the key characteristics of these mixtures? First, they have different phases, like solid sand and liquid water. Second, each component retains its unique properties. The sand is still gritty, the water is still wet. And the best part? They can often be separated quite easily using simple physical methods, like letting the sand settle and pouring off the water. Think of oil and water, or even a basic salad dressing where you can see all the different ingredients. These are all perfect examples of heterogeneous mixtures. Time to test your understanding. Pause the video and try to answer these 3 questions. What defines a heterogeneous mixture? Can you give 2 examples? And what happens to the components' properties in such a mixture? Think about what we just discussed, and you'll ace them. Now that we've grasped the basics, let's dive a little deeper into heterogeneous mixtures. How non-uniform are they, really? And what are their different types? Let's truly understand what non-uniform means. In a heterogeneous mixture, if you were to take tiny samples from different spots, their compositions would likely be different. The particles of one component aren't evenly spread among the others. This means properties like color, density, or texture can vary significantly within the same mixture. For example, if you mix flour and sugar, one spoonful might have more flour, while another might be mostly sugar. This uneven distribution is their defining characteristic. The key to distinguishing heterogeneous from homogeneous mixtures is uniformity. Homogeneous mixtures are perfectly blended, with a single phase and indistinguishable components, like salt water. Heterogeneous mixtures, however, have multiple visible phases and distinct components. Another major difference lies in particle size. Heterogeneous mixtures generally have larger particles that are visible to the naked eye or under a simple microscope, whereas homogeneous mixtures have particles at the molecular or ionic level. One common type of heterogeneous mixture is a suspension. Imagine muddy water. The solid soil particles are dispersed in the water, but they're large enough to eventually settle down if left undisturbed. These particles are typically larger than 100 nanometers. Suspensions are usually opaque and will scatter a beam of light, making its path visible. This is called the Tyndall effect. And yes, you can easily separate the solid particles from the liquid by simple filtration. Another fascinating type is colloids. They might look uniform, like milk, but they're actually microscopically heterogeneous, with particles between 1 and 100 nanometers. We'll explore them more in advanced levels. Alright, it's time for some medium-level challenges. Here are 5 questions to solidify your understanding. Think about the differences between homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures and recall the basic properties of suspensions. Pause the video, take your time, and see how many you can get right. Ready to elevate your understanding? We are about to delve into the intricate details of suspensions and colloids, exploring their unique characteristics and real-world implications. let's take a closer look at suspensions. These are clear examples of macroscopic heterogeneity. The solid particles, also known as the dispersed phase, are large enough, typically over 100 nanometers, to be seen and significantly affected by gravity. This leads to a crucial characteristic, sedimentation. If you leave a suspension undisturbed, the particles will eventually settle at the bottom. Think of muddy water again, the mud settles. Due to their large particle size, suspensions are opaque or at least translucent, blocking or scattering most light. And yes, these solid particles can be easily separated by simple filtration, making suspensions inherently unstable over time. Now, let's explore colloids in more detail. These fascinating mixtures bridge the gap between true solutions and suspensions, primarily because of their intermediate particle size, ranging from 1 to 100 nanometers. While they might appear uniform to the naked eye, they are microscopically heterogeneous. A key property is their stability. Colloidal particles remain dispersed and don't settle easily under gravity, giving them an apparent stability. They strongly exhibit the Tyndall effect, scattering light because their particle size is comparable to the wavelength of visible light. Another interesting feature is Brownian motion, the constant, random movement of colloidal particles caused by collisions with solvent molecules, which also helps prevent them from settling. Unlike suspensions, they cannot be separated by ordinary filtration. Ultrafiltration is often required. Understanding the classification of mixtures is fundamental to comprehending their behavior and diverse applications. The distinction between solutions, colloids, and suspensions isn't always sharp. It's a continuum based primarily on the size of the dispersed particles. In colloids, the immense surface area-to-volume ratio of the dispersed particles leads to significant surface phenomena, such as adsorption and the acquisition of electrical charges, which are critical for their stability. Heterogeneous mixtures are everywhere, from the air we breathe, containing dust and pollen, to the food we eat, like milk and butter. Recognizing their heterogeneity is vital for designing effective separation methods, ranging from simple decantation for suspensions to more complex techniques like centrifugation for colloids, which are widely employed in various industrial processes, including the manufacturing of paints, pharmaceuticals, and food products. Time for some hard-level thinking. These 7 questions will challenge your analytical and conceptual understanding of heterogeneous mixtures, especially suspensions and colloids. Consider their properties, stability, and how they differ. Pause the video, take your time, and push your knowledge to the next level. Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll delve into the most intricate aspects of heterogeneous mixtures, exploring advanced classifications, the science behind their stability, and their profound impact on industry and biology. Prepare for a deep dive. A complete understanding of mixtures requires a precise distinction across the entire spectrum. True solutions have particles smaller than 1 nanometer, are truly homogeneous, transparent, and don't scatter light. Colloids, with particles between 1 and 100 nanometers, are microscopically heterogeneous, translucent, and scatter light via the Tyndall effect. Suspensions, with particles larger than 100 nanometers, are macroscopically heterogeneous, opaque, scatter light, and are unstable, settling over time. Each type demands different separation techniques: distillation for solutions, ultrafiltration for colloids, and simple filtration for suspensions. Examples include salt water as a solution, milk as a colloid, and muddy water as a suspension. The apparent stability of colloids, despite their non-uniformity, is governed by complex physical and chemical factors, primarily surface chemistry. Brownian motion, the constant random movement of colloidal particles due to collisions with solvent molecules, provides kinetic stability, preventing gravitational settling. Furthermore, colloidal particles often acquire an electric charge, either positive or negative, by adsorbing ions or ionizing surface groups. These like charges repel each other, preventing particles from aggregating. In emulsions, emulsifying agents form protective layers around dispersed particles, enhancing stability. The large surface area of colloidal particles also makes them excellent adsorbents, attracting and holding other substances. The zeta potential, the electrical potential at the boundary of a colloidal particle, is a key indicator of this stability. Colloids are incredibly diverse, classified by the physical state of their dispersed phase and dispersion medium. We have sols, like paints, where a solid is dispersed in a liquid. Emulsions are liquid-in-liquid systems, such as milk or mayonnaise. Gels are liquids dispersed in solids, like jelly or cheese. Aerosols involve solids or liquids dispersed in a gas, think smoke or fog. And foams are gases dispersed in liquids, like whipped cream, or even gases in solids, like pumice stone. The Tyndall effect, a hallmark of colloids, is sensitive to particle size and light wavelength, providing directional and often polarized scattering. Brownian motion, crucial for colloidal stability, is inversely proportional to particle size and directly proportional to temperature and the medium's viscosity, highlighting the dynamic nature of these systems. The principles of heterogeneous mixtures are fundamental to countless industrial processes and biological systems. In industries, they're vital for paints, where pigments are stabilized solids in liquid, for pharmaceuticals, where drugs are formulated as suspensions or emulsions for controlled release, and extensively in the food industry for products like milk, butter, and ice cream. Water purification also relies on aggregating fine suspended particles for removal. Biologically, blood is a complex heterogeneous mixture, with cells as suspensions and proteins as colloids in plasma. Even cellular cytoplasm is a colloidal system. Advanced separation techniques leverage these properties. Centrifugation separates components by density, crucial for blood analysis. Dialysis removes small solutes from colloids using semipermeable membranes, essential in artificial kidneys. Electrophoresis separates charged colloidal particles using electric fields, and ultrafiltration uses extremely fine pores to separate colloids from smaller solutes. These methods underscore the practical significance of understanding heterogeneity. You've made it to the ultimate challenge. These first 5 questions require a deep understanding of advanced concepts in heterogeneous mixtures, covering detailed comparisons, stability mechanisms, and specific examples of colloidal systems. Think critically, connect theories, and apply your knowledge. Take your time to formulate comprehensive answers. Here are the final 5 questions, pushing your expertise even further. These delve into industrial applications, advanced separation techniques, and the nuances of colloidal behavior. Consider the practical implications and underlying scientific principles. Good luck, and remember, every challenge overcome strengthens your understanding. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into heterogeneous mixtures. I hope you've enjoyed exploring the fascinating world of non-uniform compositions, from simple sand and water to complex colloidal systems. Remember, chemistry is all around us, and understanding these fundamental concepts helps us make sense of the world. For more such engaging and in-depth educational content, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more exciting lessons. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep questioning.